Live World Series coverage only on Channel 2.
World Series Game 1, the post-game series immediately following the action on Channel 2 News. Join us.
Zip Sports Special, Sunday at 10:15 on Channel 2.
We'll have live post-game coverage from World Series Game 1 from here at the Metrodome immediately following the game. Join us on Channel 2.
This is the award-winning Channel 2 News, St. Louis. Now, Don Johnson, Catherine Bliss, Lori Pinson, and Greg Gazinski with the Weekend Report.
The Homer Hankies wave wildly in Minneapolis as the Twins take Game 1. Good evening. It's certainly not a joyful night for us Cardinals fans.
Well, as you probably just watched here on Channel 2, the Cards were stopped cold in the Minneapolis Metrodome tonight. We'll have Zipper Zeppa later on the newscast, but first we're going to go to Elliot Davis, who spent the night with some Cardinal fans who watched the big loss on a very big screen. Elliot.
Well, as you put it, there is no joy among Cardinal fans in St. Louis tonight after seeing the Redbirds go down in flames. Now, a lot of people had turned out all over and throughout the city to root for the Redbirds, but they couldn't see their team pull it off. As a matter of fact, I think I'm safe to saying that a lot of streets were probably empty tonight as the town focused its attention on the hometown team. Now, a lot of those people came here to the Fox Theater to see the game on a big screen with friends and strangers.
Thousands of people paid $3 a seat here at the Fox to see the game on a 25-foot screen. This may have been the next best thing to being at the ball game. There were beer and hot dog concessions and souvenir stands. The Fox Theater's executive producer, Steve Littman, says it was all set up to help fire up the fans' World Series fever.
It's a little bit different than the normal Fox thing. We're letting people take beer to their seats and hot dogs, and we're going to do the wave and wave towels, and we're going to do the whole thing.
You would have been satisfied just sitting down at home watching it?
No.
Not nearly as much as this. It's going to be fun.
More fun. More people. Everybody wearing red.
The Fox seats about 4,600 people, and proceeds from the ticket sales are going to help the Special Olympics, an athletic program for the handicapped. Well, the Fox wasn't the only place fans gathered tonight. Many Cardinal rooters went to their neighborhood bar to share the excitement with fellow St. Louisans. This outside restaurant and lounge was among the places doing a booming business.
It's more fun here with the crowd.
Yeah, more atmosphere here.
But of course, lots of area fans just stayed home and watched the game on television. And that was just fine for pizza parlors that delivered pizzas to fans glued to their TV sets.
We're bringing a little extra help in. As you can see right now, we got a little extra help than we normally would have on Saturday evening and so on.
Well, the crowd has left the Fox now, and are you guys demoralized? You saw what happened.
No, we're going to
We have some Cardinal fans behind me. We have some good Cardinal fans behind me. They're going to do it tomorrow. They're going to come back and they're going to win. And these guys are going to be back here. This is Elliot Davis reporting live in Midtown St. Louis.
Thank you, Elliot. I hope you stay live. We'll have more on the World Series coverage coming up. But next, the latest on Nancy Reagan's condition following her surgery.
And doctors try to save little Jessica McClure's right leg. We'll have the story next, coming up on Channel 2 News.
Sitting up in bed in good spirits.
That's how doctors at Bethesda Naval Hospital are describing First Lady Nancy Reagan's condition following a successful mastectomy this morning. Still, it's expected Mrs. Reagan will spend several days in the hospital before returning home to the White House. ABC's Jackie Judd has more.
The president arrived at Bethesda Naval Hospital at dawn to be near his wife during the cancer surgery.
Have you been praying? Praying?
After spending a few private moments together, doctors wheeled the First Lady into an operating room like this one. They extracted a tissue sample from the breast tumor and, as expected, found it to be malignant. In a 50-minute operation, the surgical team removed Mrs. Reagan's left breast and lymph nodes from the armpit. The lymph nodes and the other tissue showed no malignancy but will be further tested. The cancer is called non-invasive intraductal, confined to the breast glands without spreading to other parts of the body. It has an extremely high survival rate. The president visited a groggy Mrs. Reagan in the recovery room and then returned to the White House where he gave reporters an A-OK sign.
He is feeling just fine. Everything was like that.
know what a fellow says to his wife when they're just alone in the room together, do you? Well, I express my great happiness at the outcome.
The doctors expect Mrs. Reagan to spend up to a week recovering here before she can return to the White House. Clearly anticipating the need for an operation, the First Lady earlier videotaped messages to groups she's scheduled to speak to, sending her greetings and her regrets. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Bethesda Naval Hospital.
Tonight, tiny Jessica McClure is facing a medical hurdle, the possible loss of her right foot. The 18-month-old baby, rescued from a 22-foot Midland, Texas well last night, underwent surgery today in an effort to save the limb. Orthopedist Dr. Sheldon Viney explains the reasons the limb is in trouble and the surgery was necessary.
Last night, the right foot was very marginal. We did not know whether we would be able to salvage the foot at all. Because of the rehydration, the foot has started to swell, and at that point we decided that we needed to open the foot up and decompress the pressure that develops in tissues that have been vascularly compromised.
Now, the loss of circulation in baby Jessica's foot may have been caused by the way she was lodged in that well for 58 hours. And in Loma Linda, California, the youngest ever heart transplant patient is in critical but stable condition after undergoing surgery last night, just hours after his birth. Baby Paul Hoke received the heart of a baby girl declared brain dead. Doctors say baby Paul would have died within a day of birth without the transplant. The boy's heart was significantly underdeveloped.
Residents of an apartment complex in Buena Park, California are counting their blessings tonight. A single-engine plane slammed into the complex this afternoon, setting 3 buildings on fire. But only the pilot was killed. Buena Park is about 20 miles southeast of Los Angeles. There's no word yet on what caused the plane to crash. Investigators in central Missouri are still trying to find out what caused 2 Union Pacific trains to derail, touching off a fire that forced the evacuation of hundreds of area residents last night. The biggest concern, a tank car carrying sulfur trioxide, a chemical used in making detergent that creates poisonous fumes when mixed with water. Fortunately, the tank car was hauled away without incident, while 36 other cars were damaged in the accident. Railroad officials say shortly before 5 p.m. yesterday, the 2 trains, one headed east, the other west, made contact along the double tracks just west of Morrison. It's believed both trains were traveling about 40 to 50 miles per hour.
I do know that the 2 engines had passed one another. The engineers had exchanged, just general data. Everything looks good, and all of a sudden they both went into emergency, and that was the beginning of the derailment.
Because of the accident, Union Pacific officials say they will have to reroute freight trains and cancel passenger trains until the tracks can be repaired, hopefully by Monday.
And the search goes on tonight for the robber of a North St. Louis County bank. The FBI now has released this photo of the holdup man who took an undetermined amount of cash from the Centaur Bank on Howdershell in Florissant yesterday afternoon. Well, if you think you know this person, contact the FBI or the Florissant Police. And we'll have more on the World Series, plus tonight's winning lotto numbers.
Wish those were winning numbers from Minneapolis, but no such luck. How about the weather?
Well, we do have some good numbers in the forecast. Some slightly cooler temperatures. I'll tell you when to expect it right after this.
Well, as we said earlier, those numbers out of Minneapolis were not what we wanted, but today you could not complain about the temperatures here.
You could, but nobody. Nobody would listen to you. Nobody would care. We've got some very pleasant temperatures in the forecast, at least for the next couple of days. And then we've got some cooler temperatures. I'll tell you what that colder air will feel like. Our high today, though, up at 63 degrees at 3:30 this afternoon. The morning low, 45 degrees. No rainfall out at Lambert Field. Clear skies right now and 48 degrees. Humidity is at 54%. The wind is calm. And the barometric pressure is holding steady at 30.16. Outdoors around the neighborhood network, partly cloudy conditions and 46 degrees in Creve Coeur. Oakville reporting 48, 42 in Fenton. Chesterfield at 41 degrees. The warm spot, 50 degrees up at Bethalto, and currently down in Fairview Heights, it is 45 degrees. Across the United States this evening, here's what the temperature readings will look like. 40s across the bi-state areas, some warmer 60s well to the south of us in parts of southern Texas and also out in the desert southwest. Look at this pocket of very cold temperature readings just into the 20s for the overnight low. All of that behind a frontal system that's approaching us. Tell you what that's going to do for us. Here, though, we're going to look at clouds in motion across the United States and lack of clouds across the Central Plains because we have a high-pressure dome that is governing our weather right now and keeping things nice and clear for us. However, as the front that passed through here did begin to move towards the east coast, you see just a few spotty showers associated with it on the current precipitation graph. Over in Youngstown, they picked up a little bit of rain today. Cleveland, Sault Ste. Marie, a few more showers pushing over into parts of western New York and also over into parts of Pennsylvania this evening. Here's what's going on. Here's that front that's poised to bring us some cooler air frontal system that already went by and brought us a little bit of rain yesterday, putting up those sporadic showers. But what's governing our weather right now? That very big dome of high pressure just sitting right over the state. And we're not going to complain about that because the temperatures have been oh so nice associated with it. Here's where the front will be by tomorrow, just beginning to enter into the state. Few more clouds into the forecast as high pressure kind of slips right on over to the east. High pressure, though, right behind it will bring us much cooler temperatures, but not in the forecast for tomorrow because we're expecting the temperature readings to be right around 70 degrees here in the metro area. Some cooler temperatures again associated with the passage of that front. 40s over in parts of north central United States. Ahead for Monday, high pressure building in right behind that front. Not much rain associated with it here in the St. Louis metro area. More of the rain well to the south and to the west of us. However, high pressure will be building in. Partly cloudy conditions along with it and some oh so chilly temperatures. And let me tell you about it right now. We're expecting for tonight clear skies in the low of 43 degrees. Ahead for tomorrow in the forecast, partly sunny and a high right around 70, 44. For the overnight low. On Monday, partly cloudy sky, 64 degrees for the high. On Tuesday, the temperature drops, but mostly sunny skies, 57 degrees for the high, and the overnight low by Wednesday, 38 degrees, and the temperature's holding into the middle 50s. And you're smiling, and I suppose that's good.
Well, I saw the temperature drops on Tuesday, and that's when the Twins are going to drop all their bats.
Oh, okay. That's a good way of looking at it.
All right, Don.
We hope. Well, $4 million up for grabs in the Illinois lottery. The numbers drawn tonight in Chicago are 2, 12, 18, 36, 37, and 38. Again, that's 2, 12, 18, 36, 37, and 38. Now, over in Missouri, where $4.6 million is on the line, the numbers are 6, 19, 27, 37, 41, and 44. That is 6, 19, 27, 37, 41, and 44. I'm glad there were no 10s in those numbers.
Like we saw at the Metrodome.
Yes,
right?
Not good.
Bad night for the Cardinals, and joining us now is Zip live in Minnesota. Right, Zip?
That's right, Greg. I'm outside the somber St. Louis Cardinals clubhouse. We'll be back with the post-game story in just a moment. Stay with us.
Well, the last time the Cardinals had 10 runs scored against them in the World Series, they won the series.
Remember that? 1982, Game 1?
That's some consolation.
Cardinals only had 3 hits in that game. Darryl Porter had 2 of the 3. But you're right, they did go on to win that series. So maybe that's an omen.
Maybe.
As we all just sadly watched, the Twins took Game 1 of the World Series, beating the Cardinals tonight 10-1. Joe McGrain didn't have it. Bob Force didn't have it. And the Cards' offense was non-existent. Let's go back to the Metrodome where Zip Rizeppa is standing by live. Zip?
Well, thank you very much, Greg. As everyone knows who watched the ball game, this one got out of hand in the bottom of the 4th inning when the Twins scored 7 runs before anyone was retired. Let's go back to the field at the Metrodome for a look at a couple of the highlights of the ball game. Now, Joe McGrain pitched 3 scoreless innings, but then the roof caved in the 4th. Kent Herbeck, with the bases loaded, bounced one up the middle. That scored 2 runs as the Twins overcame a 1-0 deficit and took the lead at 2-1. Later, with McGrain out of the ballgame and Bob Force in, the big blow struck by Dan Gladden, the leadoff man, hardly one of the Twins' big home run hitters, but he was tonight. He lashed a grand slam home run into the seats and left, and that pretty much put it out of reach. That made the score 7-1, completed a 7-run 4th inning, and the Twins, as you know, went on to win it 10-1. Joining me right now, the designated hitter in this ballgame for the Cardinals, Tom Pignazzi. Obviously, things didn't go the way you wanted them to.
Well, no, we lost the ball game, but you know we got to bounce back and come back tomorrow.
All right, you know, Tom, that the Cardinals lost in humiliating fashion at home in 1982, so they've proven this club can come back.
Well, hope we can do the same thing. I understand that they were beaten 10-0 in 82, and 10-1, it's pretty close to the same thing, so let's see if we can make it happen again.
Frank Viola is one of the premier left-handers in the game. You faced him tonight. You know you're going to be facing him again in the series. How was he tonight, and what will you try to do against him next time?
Well, Basically, I thought personally he was supposed to throw a lot harder. He threw a lot of change-ups, a lot of curveballs, and mixed his fastball in there. He kept the ball down, kept us off stride. You know, next time I'll be looking for more change-ups and more hooks off him.
Despite the final score, you guys know what could happen here tomorrow night.
Hey, we win. You know, it's a split, and that's what we're looking for, to split here and, you know, take it back home and, you know, have the chance to win. You know, it's just one game. It doesn't matter if it was 1-0 or 10-1.
Thanks for joining us, Tom.
You're welcome.
Tom Pignazzi. Right now, joining us down by the clubhouse, Lisa Brown. And Lisa, you have an interested spectator at tonight's game.
Yes, I say if this game can be described as sheer agony for the Cardinals, it can certainly be described as ecstasy for fans. And with me now, I have a fan who stuck around to savor the victory. This is Bill Gruber. Bill, what was your reaction? I mean, did you expect such a rout?
I was very pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect such a rout at all. I thought that the Twins may have had too long to think about this thing and might have tightened up. And up till the fourth inning, it looked like, unfortunately, I might have been right, but then Gladden came through.
How confident are you of their success? I mean, do you think this indicates the future?
Well, I think it's a big psychological effect on the Cardinals, but we take them one at a time out here.
Yeah, you haven't won in a long time.
That's right. I've been rooting for them for 23 years, and we haven't won it yet, so hopefully this will be the year.
All right, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I was anxious to see if all of the rumors about the noise here were true, and trust me, they are. Granted, in the past, their performance has been so lackluster, there haven't been that many fans showing up, but tonight they had 55,171 fans, and believe me, it was loud. Consider this, the man who was going around selling these things, these are earplugs, he was selling for $1 a piece. If it goes like it was tonight, he'll be able to retire by the end of the World Series. In addition to yelling at the top of their lungs, it seemed like everybody here had the Homer hankies. So tomorrow there's going to be a lot of hoarse voices and sore arms. But rest assured that it's not going to be a problem. They'll be able to rest up tomorrow night. They'll be still and quiet because the Cardinals will win. Zip?
Well, we hope so, Lisa. Anyway, Tom Pignazzi told me earlier that it's easier to forget a game like this, a blowout, than it is a 1-0 loss. And as he told you, the Cards could gain that split tomorrow night with a victory, and the score of Game 1 won't matter because the Cards then would go back to Busch even. But tomorrow night is a big one. It'll be Bert Blyleven for the Twins against the old battler, Danny Cox and the Redbirds. We'll be back live at 5 and 10 tomorrow night with World Series reports from Minneapolis. That'll do it for now. Let's go back to you, Greg.
Okay, Zip, thank you. Now for some more bad news. The St. Louis Blues lost to the Chicago Blackhawks tonight 3-2 in the home opener at the arena. So the Blues remain winless on the year. They're 0-4. St. Louis gave the big crowd something to cheer about early. Doug Gilmour, number 9, bangs in a loose puck from the side of the net. There it is, and it gave the Blues a 1-0 first period lead. But early in the second period, Greg Peslowski gives it up in front to Wayne Presley, who moves right in and beats Walmsley, tying it at 1 apiece. Chicago then took the lead. Presley again comes out of the corner, moves right in front, and beats Walmsley a second time. But later, about midway in the period, Ron Flockhart with a nice effort, he beats Bob Mason right there. That tied it at 2 apiece. But just before the end of the period, a typical Dennis Savard goal. Watch him do his thing. Around Ramage and into the empty net, 3-2. There was a scoreless third period, and the Blackhawks held on to win it by a goal. Elsewhere, Toronto outscored Detroit 7-4. Winnipeg dumped Minnesota 5-2. Philadelphia got by the Islanders 4-3. Washington edged the Rangers by the same score. Hartford beat New Jersey in overtime 4-3. Buffalo doubled Quebec 6-3. Montreal nipped Pittsburgh 3-2, and Edmonton down the Bruins by the score of 4-3. Missouri exploded for 35 unanswered points and clobbered Iowa State today 42-17. The Tigers trailed 17-7 late in the first half, but then staged a tremendous rally to win the game. Missouri is now 4-2. Robert Del Pino scored 2 touchdowns on runs of 18 and 86 yards to spark the comeback. Tony Van Zandt also scored his first touchdown as a Tiger. Illinois won today in the final minute of play. Doug Higgins kicked a 34-yard field goal with 54 seconds left to give the Fighting Illini the win. Elsewhere around the country, number 1 Oklahoma clobbered Kansas State 59-10, and second-rated Nebraska shut out Oklahoma State 35-0. Both of these teams had been 5-0 going into the game, but as the score indicates, it was all Cornhuskers. First quarter, Steve Taylor to Rod Smith, 29 yards and a touchdown, and Nebraska goes on top early by the score of 7-0. We move now to the second quarter. Ken Clark on a 28-yard touchdown run. Watch the last 2 or 3 yards. A tremendous effort by Clark, and he just gets in, making it 14-0. Third quarter now, Keith Jones scores the second of his 2 touchdowns, an 18-yard run, 28-0 at this point. The Huskers win at 35-0. Elsewhere tonight, 4th-rated Florida State pounded Louisville 32-9, and Auburn got by Georgia Tech 20-10 in the most exciting game of the afternoon, with Tech ahead 10-7. 24 seconds left to go in the game. Auburn Jeff Berger throws a 4-yard TD pass, making it 14-10. Then from the 40-yard line on the final play of the game, this pass bounces off of a helmet and into the arms of Andre Bruce, who goes all the way, so Auburn scores twice in the final 24 seconds to win that ball game. Also, 6th-rated LSU over Kentucky 34-9. Clemson beat Duke 17-10. Alabama over Tennessee 41-22. UCLA pounded Oregon 41-10. It was Syracuse over Penn State 48-21, and Notre Dame beats Air Force 35-14. Well, there's always tomorrow, as they say.
That's right. That's why it's a 7-game series.
Let's hope it goes 7.
Okay, thanks a lot, Greg. There's much more to come on Channel 2 News.
Including a story about the world's greatest woman athlete who comes home for a visit.
Hope she gets win a bet.
The person some consider to be the world's greatest athlete returned to the St. Louis area today to meet and greet fans.
East St. Louis's Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who graced the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine a few weeks ago, signed autographs at Crestwood Plaza today. Joyner-Kersee won the silver medal in the heptathlon in the 1984 Olympics. Since then, she has set world records a couple of times, really, in the 5 events that make up the heptathlon, and is the gold medal favorite in next year's Olympics. She was here to promote a shoe company.
As you said earlier, you wished or hoped she could swing a bat.
I wish she could swing a bat and go up to Minnesota and help out. We could have used her tonight.
Yeah, certainly could have used some kind of help.
Well, that's why they call it the World Series. And we'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
See you then.
Good night.